Welcome to part 3 of Table Time Chit Chat, December the 2nd, 2023. And is it just me, or does it seem like time is just zipping by these days? Seemed like just yesterday it was the 1st of October. What happened to the month of November? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. The other day I went to do some stuff and get things set up so I could get back to work, and oh my gosh, I was filling out some paperwork and I wrote November 28th on there without even thinking. I don't know why I thought it was the 28th, and it was the 30th. That's where the woman told me that. She pointed that out to me, and I'm like, are you serious? She said, yeah. I said, oh my God, where'd the last 2 days go? I was just so consumed and so busy with everything that I was having to try to do and get done, and it was just like, zoof, it's gone. Poof, gone. And see, the month of October is kind of like a blur to me these days anyway, because that was, October 4th was the second anniversary of both passing, and so I just kind of was not wanting to do the month of October this year. I kind of just wanted to hack it out of the calendar and just throw it away. I wasn't feeling it. I didn't want to do it. I miss Bo, like the air in my lungs. Every day I look for somebody to talk to. And it comes up Neil. I end up just talking to Jesus. Who else am I supposed to talk to? He's the only one who really cares if he hears from me or not. So I live in a world where I'm invisible. And people just don't want to talk to me. It's sad to me that people profess to be holy and Christians, and yet they let people pass through the cracks. And they don't check on them, and they don't love people, and they don't care what happens to them, really. And people that have become widows and widowers are really badly overlooked. And here's the thing, people just don't want to deal with that grief. Well, did you ever think maybe that person doesn't want to deal with it either? Maybe they just want somebody to talk to about fishing, or no, I don't want to talk about fishing. I don't fish. Oh well, I don't watch football anymore either. One thing I really care about talking about these days is Jesus. But I just don't want anybody to die lost. So, but anyway, I'll talk about other stuff if it's not stupid, or okay, let's face it, most stuff is stupid. Sometimes I just goof around. though, for real. And sometimes I'm just focused on the Lord a lot because I'm in the zone with the Lord, and I just have to be. I can't help it. Could you imagine a world where no one ever listened to the Lord's voice and never did what He asked? That's where we are almost at now. There's very few people doing what the Lord asks. That is where we are at now. Super crazy. And not good crazy either. It's like poof. Star Wars, man. Light side, dark side. Well, let me tell you something. Vader is not my father. I am from the light side. And the Force is strong with this one. Anyway, that was for some humor. Let me get the footage back up.
Again, Hamas fired rockets at Israel's territory, breaking the ceasefire. The renewed fighting puts the release of more hostages on hold.
140 are still held captive, and it's uncertain when or if negotiations for their release will restart. Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem.
Early Friday morning, the IDF resumed bombing in Gaza City after it announced Hamas began firing rockets into southern Israel, breaking the 7-day ceasefire. During that week, more than 100 hostages were freed from Gaza. On Thursday, Hamas released 10 more Israeli hostages. Israel wanted to see all women and children set free. But as the fighting begins again, the negotiations are on hold. And the fate of the nearly 140 hostages still in captivity is uncertain. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken left Friday morning after a day of meetings with Israeli and Palestinian leaders. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told Blinken Israel's goals for the war have not changed.
I told him, this is the same Hamas. This is the same Hamas that carried out the terrible massacre on October 7th. The same Hamas that tries to murder us everywhere. I told him, we swore, and I swore, to eliminate Hamas. Nothing will stop us. We will continue this war until we achieve the 3 goals. To release all our abductees.
Okay, Nettie boy, you shouldn't be swearing. We're not supposed to swear. Bible speaks against it. Just saying. I had to throw that in there. I do not recommend that you go around swearing. You're not supposed to be doing that.
To eliminate Hamas completely and to ensure that Gaza will never again face such a threat.
Blinken repeated the administration message that there should be less civilian deaths and displacement in operations in southern Gaza. And Israel's Channel 12 is reporting Blinken gave Israel weeks to finish the job of destroying Hamas. Today, the New York Times reports Israeli intelligence knew about Hamas's plan to attack southern Israel more than a year in advance, but did not believe the terror group had the capability or the will to carry it out. The intelligence document reportedly described the plan in detail, which Hamas carried out on October 7th. Meanwhile, Palestinians in the West Bank celebrated the release of more than 200 prisoners during the ceasefire. Most of those set free were convicted of terrorism, including attempted murder, stabbings, and bombings. Palestinian Media Watch announced the Palestinian Authority will be paying thousands of shekels to a number of these convicted terrorists. The PA has a long history of glorifying terrorists and martyrs by naming schools and public places after terrorists like Dulal Mughrabi, convicted of one of the worst terror attacks in Israel's history, and the infamous refrigerator bomber. He filled a refrigerator with explosives that killed 15 people. It was called a Palestinian symbol. Support for the PA's rival Hamas has increased substantially because of the war in Gaza. As a result, the PA has praised what Hamas did on October 7th.
As a sign of his coming and the end of the age, Jesus declares, "And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." The prophets of the Old Testament prophesied of these.
Yeah, this is prophecy coming to pass. And as I'm sitting here listening to this stuff, and I got all these thoughts that go through my head. And no, I don't watch this stuff all the time. Just when the Lord says, go over there and watch this and or that one. And God did send me to them for a purpose. And I thank God for them. Because I was going through a transition in 2020 with the Lord. And a lot of crazy stuff was happening to me. And I went to some people that I trusted. People that I thought might understand what was happening to me. I was trying to find out, have you been through this basically? I'm new at a lot of this. Have you been through this? Some of this stuff is new territory to me. But it turned out that no one had been through that. I was getting to be the first one. Yay! Trailblazer. Love it. Not really, but okay. We go as the Lord says go. We do as the Lord says do. And that's how it is. That is how life is. We are put in the body as He decides. As He decides, not we. And would I tell Him no? No. Never. If it is within me to do anything that He asks, I certainly will. Because I love the Lord. People try to convince me that I was being the devil. And even had people that called me Satan right in a sanctuary because I didn't want their hands on me. Because of some things that happened, and I asked them not to put their hands on my person. So they called me Satan because I didn't want to go out with them and do whatever with them. And because I refused to partake of their sin. I'm not going to go into full details. I'm just going to leave it at that. But this person genuinely hurt me. And when I went to the elders for help, because God told me to, I was treated like I was the one who done something wrong. This is not how Jesus does things. He doesn't treat the innocent like they are guilty. Look at the fruit that people bear. Just because someone is old and seems feeble doesn't mean that they're not capable of being devils. I'll see you in the next part.